The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. It is Friday, April 22nd, 2022. Thank you so much for joining us as always on Fridays. All right, we haven't done it in a while, but I'm so glad to have this morning Pastor Anthony Galloway, who joins us regularly on Fridays, as well as our brother, Dr. Carl Mack, who is our historian here. Good morning to both of you gentlemen this morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I got you, Dr. Mack.
All right, Matt. I hadn't spoken to you, my brother, since I sent it to you. So give me your thoughts.
I bought several of them and I've been handing them out like candy, and it's starting to break the bank a little bit. But what I can say is not only have some of the teachers that I've gifted it to started to use it in their classrooms, but it is also a gift for a below the line history segment that we have at our church, where kids do below the line history and they need to go find sources different places. Well, funny you should mention it. The gift that I gave them for a belated Christmas present is working as a good source. So I appreciate it.
Man,
wow.
It's my pleasure. I just want to let you know that I finished an all women's calendar, all Black women's calendar.
Hey.
And now, as we speak, the reason I'm looking so rough is because I'm burning the candles on both ends and in the middle, working on an all sports calendar. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Well, since we are there, and that is always where we start each morning. Hey, Google, and hey, Google, what happened today in Black history?
Charles Houston was born in 1895 in Washington, D.C. A military veteran of World War I, and a graduate of Harvard University, he was the first Black person elected to the Harvard Law Review. As the dean of Howard University's School of Law, Houston trained nearly 25% of all the Black lawyers in America, including Thurgood Marshall. With the NAACP, he fought against all-white jury convictions, segregation in public education, specifically law schools, and restrictive housing covenants. Houston passed away on April 22, 1950. Adapted from Black Heritage Day calendar by author, lecturer and civil rights activist Dr. Carl Mack.
Wow. There's not much more to say, man, about that, brother. You know, I think the one thing that stood out so much to me early in my research about him is that, as a person trying to increase the number of Black lawyers, that his DNA was on 25% of all Black lawyers in the United States. Now, on one hand, you could say there's not a lot of lawyers, but on the other hand, when you covering 25% of the country, that's a lot of lawyers. Yeah. And so enough said about that, brother.
Absolutely. BlackHeritageDays.com to get Black Heritage Days 4, which is where we draw. Dr. Mack, I absolutely love that the calendars give all of us a level of grounding. Pastor Galloway, I was listening to you and how you all use it there. That's how we use it here. Like, it just gives us a perch from which we can take into consideration everything that's happening around us presently. And I know we talk about the calendar every day, but Pastor Galloway, if you would, just a little bit more on how history becomes the perch or the vantage point from which you can derive all of the things that you're doing over there.
Well, one of the things that we encounter quite a bit is even for folks who are not folks of color, we have a serious gap in deep engagements of our historical context, and so we don't know why we got to where we are. Right. And so that important contextual grounding is essential to being able to see that. I mean, we've got, not only do we have, does it restore some identity to folks who don't see or don't get representations of how they made this country what it is. Yeah. It's a lot easier for me to then step back and just say that the country is happening to me if I don't see that I am part of the building blocks and can claim my space. That's one side. on the other side, we have some of our white parishioners and families who are trying to figure out how to connect in, or why all this baggage is here. And again, I look in here, and if I've only ever been represented a history that's myopic, that says all of history is black subjugation and white rage, and now I get to see, especially if you're talking about the NAACP, there's a whole lot of white accomplices that you never get a story about. So the only picture that I have in terms of trying to leave this fake mentality that is being generated now, because there is no cultural root to white supremacy, it's just supremacy. Now I get to say, oh, I can be like Lucretia Mott. I can be like Nicholas Chris, who posed in the picture with Rosa Parks that we see as the face of white racism, was actually accomplishing for the needs of that picture that was taken a year after the event. So it presents us a way to say, to address that history. We know healing doesn't happen until we address the stuff that's below the table. So that's how it's been used for us, and it brings a whole lot of folks into their activism in that way.
Brother, you have absolutely warmed my soul this morning. Thank you. Good Lord. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I absolutely. I think that it is important, Dr. Mack, for us to because without our history, it's easy for people to tell us that we don't have history if we don't know our history. And it's so easy for us to fall into the trap of not knowing the power from which we derive all the things that we do. So thank you for that calendar. And we want to make sure everyone goes and gets it, as well as the upcoming number 5 and number 6, the Black Women's Calendar and the Black Sports History Calendar. Doc, you have been extremely busy. I want to shift gears to present history. I want to take a look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who brought attention yet again to what happened on January 6th. I think it's incumbent upon us not to allow the distance from that particular date to desensitize us to what happened. And AOC lets us know in this next clip that it was nothing more than a trial run. Let's take a listen into that clip.
The House, this is no joke. January 6th was a trial run. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. It was a trial run. And they're going to come back. And they win the House. Here's the thing, the technicality of what happened on January 6th. The only reason it wasn't worse was because Democrats had the House and they didn't have the votes in the House. If they take the House, then they have the votes to not authorize and legitimize the presidential election, whatever the results are. And so this is very serious.
You know,
Lord, I didn't think about that.
That's the part right there. And that's what I hate this statement, because it is what I'm getting ready to say is a phrase that is always used by the Democratic Party and everyone else every time elections come around, that this might be the most important election coming up. But when you consider in 2022, if we don't block these traitors from getting in power in the House, then it doesn't really matter now, does it, what happens in 2024? Because they have already set the model that they are going to reject the results no matter what. I want to start with you, Dr. Mack, and then go to Pastor Galloway.
But Ben, you have to slow down. All of us have to slow down and understand exactly what AOC said. Of all the things that I thought about, it did not dawn on me that think about right now, what percentage of people in this country truly believe that the election was stolen? So now just imagine if the House of Representatives were owned by the Republicans. They literally, for the first time in history of this country, you talk about a peaceful transfer of power. They absolutely could not have certified that election. Think about that and think how close they are to doing that. So when she makes that statement, when we want to talk about our vote not mattering now, if we allow something like this to happen, then there is no more conspiracy. You are absolutely correct. Your vote would not matter. Just imagine if the House had been owned by Republicans and what happened on January 6th happened, and they did not certify the election with no proof of ill doing, not to the point that you could say the election was rigged. This would have been say goodbye to democracy.
That's right.
It is done. Unbelievable. I just didn't think about it in that context.
Pastor Galloway.
You got it. The words is out. I wasn't even thinking that was the direction that we were going. I was actually thinking about the challenge of as she was opening it up at being a trial run,
Yes.
saying that there is fomentation for other opportunities, and that's where my head was going. I hadn't even thought about the fact about the connection to the elections coming up. This is problematic. Now I'm in a space of dealing with folks in active engagement across multiple. I got heavy critiques from a race and religion point of view of both of our parties and what happens in that space. But the unraveling of democracy and what it means to folks who have continually been pushed out of and marginalized. I think of the rulings that are happening around the Voting Rights Act in many different spaces. Like, you start to zoom out and put all those together into a project, and yet again you see you see this unraveling. That's hitting me. So you kind of caught me flat-footed on that one. I was not thinking there.
Yeah, I think about it all the time, Dr. Mack, and I really do appreciate the conversation that we had yesterday. I kind of been thinking about this for a minute, and to the audience, I apologize. My camera has gone out, but this is a conversation that must continue, because these people have methodically and systematically positioned every piece that they need on the chessboard to get checkmate on democracy.
Yes.
And the only thing that's left, let's be sure, let's go down the list. They have the whole of the judiciary.
Yes.
Right. Now, with the only thing that we've gotten any hope on right now is the pick that we had on the Supreme Court. However, Donald Trump's picks all the way up and down the judiciary, 80 picks while he was there, I believe over 2/3. That gives them the power to decide what is constitutional and what is not.
Absolutely.
And then if you look at all the state legislatures around the country that are controlled by Republicans, by Republican governors, Republican houses, and Republican led senates, they have the ability to call their own constitutional convention.
Yes.
And not yet, but they're getting to that threshold very shortly. And now they have fully demonstrated that they are willing and totally that they would turn this country over to Vladimir Putin versus the quote unquote woke crowd.
Well,
go ahead, Dr. Galloway. Pastor Galloway.
Well, I'm on my way. The doctoral program is underway.
Yes, sir.
But there's a zoom out a little bit, because we are moving into a space, and this has been a trend for a while, right? There used to be this idea that all you had to do was marshal and organize, but at the end of the day, one thing that we would all agree on is that our collective voices coming together would set direction. Now we are seeing that political strategy is setting direction. More than that, and that has been something that's been eroding over time, and now we're getting to the point from what you just said, right? Think about that, and you can think about it one term in terms of one side, one partisan side, but also think about it in terms of what people believe about how democracy works. I've got young folks coming to talk to me, and when we talk about putting all the votes together, and deciding something based on how we all come together and collectively, which, is a way. We've had indigenous and Afrocentric ways of doing things collectively and council-wise for many years that we can tap, but we seem to forget that philosophy, just like we forget all the philosophy that predates the European Enlightenment. But anyway, that's another conversation. The big thing that I'm watching is where folks are thinking that all I have to do is collect all the voices, because what do we have? We have attention on the judicial. The judiciary is supposed to be separate. It's supposed to be a very different thing than a partisan pick all the way up and down the ballot to align a particular way of view. That's not democracy. That's no longer folks participating. And this would be a problem regardless of what party is doing it. But I think we should articulate the fact that it's been very clear that one party is attempting to do things that way versus the bring all the voices to the table way, and that can't be ignored. And so there's this is very problematic all the way up the board, because when you do that means that what we have access to in terms of making the world that we want to see starts to be limited to the things that are not healthy long term for humanity.
And Brother Galloway, if we step out and being, you're talking about stepping out and putting all the pieces together. Well, let's just go back for a minute. Not too far back. We get the election of the first Black president.
Mm-hmm.
Now, under him, now you start seeing the ramp up of police misaccountability, no accountability in police. And then that gives way to these three sisters, Alicia Garza, Opal Tometi, Patrice Cullors, putting together a slogan that revolutionized police accountability, at least in my lifetime, called Black Lives Matter. And now we watch the advent of technology give Black Lives Matter reality. Then all of a sudden this pandemic comes in, we're all quiet, sitting there. When we watch Eric Garner get choked out, when we watch Tamir Rice, when we watch Philando Castile, for some reason it just didn't resonate, but now God shuts everything down. And we're there to watch May 25th, 2020. We were able to just watch a grown Black man die with a man on his knee, with his neck on his knee. So now these things are coming together. And then what is their response to it? Their response to the first Black president is to put the most inept, unbelievable individual you can imagine in arguably one of the most powerful political positions in the world, -45, Trump as president of the United States. And then what does Trump start doing? I'm saying, folks, look at the chess pieces. Trump starts all of a sudden, he's putting these people in the judicial ranks. Not only did he do, I think he got 2 for the Supreme Court, but now through all of the other courts throughout the land, he starts putting them together. And now when the election comes up, now you see this, as AOC said, this trial run towards this. And then once that election happens and you elect the Biden and the first Black woman as vice president, what do? They ramp up their game and say, we must now prevent them from voting. So throughout the South, we start seeing all of these efforts around voter suppression.
Yep.
Family, if we're not careful, they're going to have all of their pieces. It's like Putin. If you want to compare this to Putin, before Putin invaded Ukraine, he put all of his pieces all around Ukraine. He put all of his pawns all around Ukraine before he started. And once he started, he'd have everything in place. That's what we're looking at now. And that is exactly what is happening in this country. History is very clear that every time we as a people begin to show any signs of progress, and heaven forbid that progress be major, such as, during those 3 big amendments that got passed, the 13th Amendment in 1865, which ended chattel slavery, the 14th Amendment passed in 1868, which gave us citizenship, and the 15th Amendment in 1870, which gave Black men the right to vote. When those 3 amendments came in, they ramped up everything. You had the advent of the Ku Klux Klan, you had Black codes, you had all of these things to take place. This is exactly what we're looking at right now. And if we're asleep at the wheel, as AOC has said, as history is saying to us, you want to talk about taking America back again? They are well on their way to doing it. It is incumbent upon us to stay focused. And Brother Galloway, when you talked about such the importance of history to understanding how we got here today, this is, again, it just all comes so full circle. My heart is so full today talking to you and being about this, because it's providing clarity to me even deeper than what I thought I understood. I just thank God for you brothers on this conversation.
But Brother Ben, I don't know who it was, but Brother Mac, somebody I was on this show who mentioned that we are in our 3rd Reconstruction, and it made me go, whoa. Because that pattern that you just described, right? Yes. The first Reconstruction, advancements, the federal troops were protecting the lands, and then you just described that with the amendments, and then the backlash that comes from it needs to be a part of that thought process. Yes. Our second Reconstruction, right? That advancement in the more recent arm of the civil rights movement had a backlash throughout the 70s and 80s that seeded the de jure racism. Look at James Lowen's Sundown Towns, right? You can see what that looks like. And then I can't remember the guest that said it on the show, but that they were saying that the election of Barack Obama marks the 3rd Reconstruction.
That's right. And
you have the advancements in a whole lot of different areas that went along with that, the audacity that people began to give, and then you've got to have the backlash.
You got
that. Oh my goodness! Like the and what do, again, our pre-European Enlightenment Dinka symbol philosophies have, right? That Sankofa. know your past so you can know your future. Go back and get it, right? So we're in this space. So I have to think about then, if that is true, so too the then is our responses to that, because in that Reconstruction period formed the foundations of Tulsa. Now, of course, we had to see the continued backlash of it, right? But our response had been the self-autonomy, and as long as we can protect the autonomy in a way that doesn't have, we will. So we know the next set of patterns, right? So that advancement, autonomy, things like that. I've got an apartment building in the area that we're working with that had created its own food co-op and rent co-op, so that anybody who suffers and their renter is behind and stuff like that, they built their own little table to make that happen, and they're close to buying the building outright. Wow. There are these, when we start to think about what we do now, there's one thing to look at a system that does what it's designed to do, right? And it's been co-opted. So what response can we have? There's some of us that some of it that goes, how do we build that? But I look at AME church traditions. When folks was treating us in a kind of way, we started building HBCUs. When folks was treating us in any kind of way, we started building our own business co-ops. The one standing building left after Tulsa was the AME church in that space, because they had let it set enough ground that folks was like, I ain't messing with God in that regard. So when Denmark Vesey's quote unquote slave revolt, which was not the slave revolt, that's the story that was used to kill all those folks in that time. We were about building back that institution. So I think, waking up in that space, but also thinking about how do you build the institutions. And it's not my words. Elder Mahmoud El-Khati, a well-known professor at Macalester College here, historian, father of Stokely from mint condition. He's like our resident historian, and he talks about, one thing that weathers all of these changes that a society or a system does to us, it is our institutions. And so that's got me right back into that space of going, all right.
Can you run that last sentence? What weathers all the changes that we go through are our institutions. Did I hear you right?
Yeah, when I'm talking about Black institution spaces, like there's our responses to what we know that white body supremacy does. We build institutions. Those institutions weather. Now, it's not easy.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But we have been in the practice of institution building that has gotten our generations through, even as we weather the storms that the U.S. does as it moves and fluctuates these different places. It's been a consistency of those things, both official and unofficial institutions that we have created to weather some of those things. It's got me starting to think about putting an eye towards that as we do, as we see what's happening around us.
And Ben, let me jump in again, because I want to give some context to what Brother Galloway has just said, Pastor Galloway has just said, to help us to understand. When he talks about that first Reconstruction, and I've already given you the advancements that were being made, and he talked about the federal troops that were protecting us. You got to remember that their response to it, their backlash to this, was the Compromise of 1877. That's when you had Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel Tilden sitting down, because they were arguing over this transfer of power, the presidential election of 1876. And Tilden said to Hayes, you know what, I will give you the White House, but in return for that, you must take all the federal troops that are in the South protecting the Blacks. And they agreed to it. And the backlash was enormous. January 6th, in case you don't know what the backlash looks like, it looks like January 6th. Now you come all the way up to the modern day civil rights movement, right? Now you get that. What was the backlash to it? One element of the backlash was, we got to find a way to imprison them again. So now you see something as simple as the 3 strikes law. Who was part of that? Clinton and Biden. They were part of that, right? Thinking they're doing the right thing. And look at the mass incarceration that happened just on 3 strikes. And that's just one piece of the backlash. Now you get the election of President Obama. And what is their response? What is the backlash? We're going to put the most vile individual we can in what we consider one of the most important positions in the world. So these things are happening. History is very clear about that. So I don't want people to think, that we're sitting up here talking conspiracies. But Pastor Galloway, I do want to say this. I do want to ask you this question. When you talk about the role of Black institutions, clearly there has been no other Black institution at the forefront of our progress than the Black church in this nation. And so, with that being said, and being you're always showing us these right-wing folks in the church who are using their platforms to push hatred in the name of God. And so, Pastor Galloway, my question to you is, why is it that we haven't heard from the pastors of these big black mega churches? You know, when it comes to them making the damn money, you know, I don't want to go down with the 3 Ps, pimp, prosperity, preaching. I don't want to go down there. But why is it that we can hear from those folks, those wolves disguised in sheep clothing on one side push such hatred, but we cannot hear from our institutions in a bold and audacious way, unapologetic way to talk about, because they are, whether we want to or not, they are influencers at a tremendous level. So tell me, please help me to understand.
So this has been problematic and actually frustrating for me as a baby preacher, right? You know, my Bishop John Franklin White in the 4th Episcopal District of the AME Church, the Council of Bishops in the AME Church have been loud and proud on a lot of these issues that are coming through, right? But out in our space, the mega church is not the is not the representative. There's an undue power in terms of the microphone in that regard. Because the vast majority of churches, in fact, the vast majority of black churches are less than 300 members,
right? Yes.
Right, across the country,
right?
And so while bishops of the denominational side have been loud and proud, they just don't have the airtime of mass mega church spaces, and that's a problem that we see not just in the church space but in many different areas, right? If we actually look at our polling, you know, the whole time we've been talking about this, our polling doesn't match what we actually see and have been talking about in this regard. Because the vast majority of the country, you know, thinks a lot more along the lines that we're talking. So you know, but that also brings forward an opportunity, because the ground game can work. AOC is an example of the ground game. And that's part of the challenge that I'm in right now, is how do we collectivize our ground game? You may be able to have a big giant platform over here, but I'm talking to folks on a much personal level, and that lasts longer than the talking points in the big in the big tent over long-term periods of time. The challenge we have now is, can we get to the long-term piece where that ground game works before somebody dismantles it? And I think that's driving some of the urgency and the use of that. And so, I don't quibble about Christianity that ain't real Christianity. So when we start talking about the cultural Christianity or that has been created, that isn't rooted to this Afro-Asiatic tradition that I'm practicing, I don't feel the need to speak on their behalf.
Ben, I hear the music. Well, before we go off, Ben, please let me just say this. Ben Dixon, I want to tell you right now, black man, I love you.
Hey, man.
Galloway, I want to say to you, black man, I love you. And you both have just filled my heart this morning. Thank you both so much.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure to be here with you, Dr. Mack. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show right after this.
All right, good morning, everybody. Y'all know who it is. You know the voice. You know the sound. James Bubba Williams is in the building. DJ Exclusive, happy Earth Day, y'all. So what else better to do than play Earth? Light it up. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see all of you. Y'all come on in, get situated, get settled, get your coffee, your tea, whatever it is you need. Excuse me, to get your morning going. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, look, I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'm a ride for the squad. Let up tires in the hearse. I've been on a vibe, kind of hard to describe. I'm in between.
Good morning, everybody in the chat room. Ism, Al Booga, Amber Layla, good morning. Shelby H, Bryce, Carly Wynn, Shay, good morning. Elizabeth Lanza, Ryan Foreman, good morning. Roller Dragon, what's going on? Laura Estrada, good morning. Ear Hustler, good morning. Teresa, what's going on? KFZ, what's up, brother? Melanie Dennis, good morning. Snack Panther, Truth the Dragon, Mara Sharice, good morning. Esther Brochin, good morning, y'all. Tyler, good morning to you. Win Singerful, good morning. Barbara Ebron, good morning. Jason, what's going on? Mary C, good morning. Hey, y'all, Walker, good morning. Six Dragon Daddy, good morning to you. Kareem, good morning. Melody Dennis, T for real, good morning. Elizabeth Lanza, you as well, too. Infinite Content, good morning.
Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list.
Tiger, good morning to your brother Lateef. Jesse Camaro, good morning. I appreciate it. Maureen, good morning. Not tonight, Maureen, but next week, yes, if I'm not mistaken. Rachel Bannon, good morning. Alicia, good morning, sister. Love y'all, mean it. Just Hearts, good morning. Mary Smith, good morning to you. Big Peace, what's going on? Good morning. Shout out everybody on Twitch, man, and Twitter. I love y'all, mean it. See y'all as well, too. Good morning. All right, y'all, welcome back to the screen. My brother from another mother, Benjamin Dixon. Good morning, y'all.
Morning show. We are on the clock. Georgia Ford is not with us, but we have Pastor Anthony Galloway and Dr. Carl Mack, as well as DJ Exclusive. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is good to have all of you here with us. And in a moment, we're going to be joined by State Senator Fort from the state of Georgia. And we're going to be discussing with him the Economic Bill of Rights, the same Bill of Rights that we were talking about with Nina Turner and not pastor. I just, it's something you always make people doctors or pastors in the Black church world. Professor Harvey K. and Alan Minsky, they're making a move on encouraging and pushing this government to give us an economic bill of rights, ensuring a certain level of living, because in this country, it is very difficult to get ahead. As we were talking about everything we talked about in the last segment, it really made me think of the different ways that this system has of choking us out. And I want to just read a report from CNN. Renters are losing hope of owning houses as it hits housing prices hit record highs. CNN is reporting that the U.S. real estate market has stayed hot. Many renters are starting to doubt that they'll ever own a home of their own. According to a recent survey by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, an average of just 43.3% of renters believe they'll own a home in their future. In 2021, 51.6% of renters were hopeful they'd own a home eventually. And in 2021, 51.6% rather of renters were hopeful that they own a home. And this is rooted now in the increased prices of home. We understand that the markets go up and down, Brother Mac, but there's something interesting happening now. I don't know if it's happening in your various sides of the country, but I can attest, and James, I know you can, for Atlanta. The market there is just out of control. Houses are selling within hours. People are overbidding by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Dr. Mack, I heard one house got over $100,000 more than what they were asking within 6 days of closing. So it's a very hot market. So it's good for some, but for the average person out here, it's becoming more and more difficult. And that's just one. I mean, there's a litany of ways where we are squeezed in this system. I want to ask all of you going across the room your thoughts about this, but really in terms of everything else that's happening, because I think a key component in the crumbling of our democracy is the level of desperation that a lot of Americans experience. Now, I'm not one, Pastor Galloway, because I heard you earlier say that you have a robust critique of both parties. So do I. I think everybody on this screen does. But there is a level of economic despair that is directly associated with policies that are campaigned upon and bragged upon, but yet there seems to be people who run headlong into it. Let me make it plain. How is it that a party that has made it clear that they don't want anything except for our economic despair still gets the votes of people who need the most help? Some of the poorest people in this country need the most help, Pastor Galloway, but they are still running into the hands of a party. They trade their bigotry in exchange for their economic despair. What are your thoughts on all of this?
I'm sorry, we said it with the historical context. Let's keep it in the historical context. Right? Slavery did not work for the vast majority of whites in the poor whites in the South who did not own slaves. Right, and yet they were inculcated to vote against their very own interest.
That's right.
Bacon's Rebellion was another example. Bacon's Rebellion, everybody united together to revolt against what was happening to be another ruling class space where the vast majority of wealth was being taken by a certain group of folks, and folks violently led by Bacon to take that back violently. And what did they do? They instituted policies that put white overseers over, to separate again against their own interest, because all it did is reprime that same pump. So this is not new, unfortunately, in the historical space, right? And we're talking about places where folks continue to vote in this way, and they see their own gaps continue to increase. We often talk about the black-white wealth gaps in urban context. What about the white gaps that are happening in some of our rural spaces that folks just don't seem to align, But I'm saying this from the space of the Democratic Farm Labor Party, ran rampant in Minnesota. We have a huge white farm labor, pro-union space that is now eroding into this same thing, where those same values that were true and held in 1970 and 1980, 1988 in particular, when we had the plateau and the huge rising of some of these disparities, especially educationally, those same values that were touted there being worked against by the same folks who are even a part of those movements to the tune of the policy that you're talking about. So unfortunately, this historical pattern has been present for years.
And to add just a little bit more to the historical perspective, Pastor, the thing that you're talking about is, in history is known as Bloody Kansas. And going back to what AOC said January 6th was a trial run. If you don't think America has had practice in trial runs, Bloody Kansas is an absolute perfect example of it. Because Bloody Kansas was a war, a civil war within the Kansas territory over free labor or free soil. So you had some folks who wanted to take the Kansas territory and bring slavery into it. Poor white folks understood that, no, if you bring free labor into this, then that's going to hurt me. So this is going to be free soil. So they had a mini civil war from 1854 to 1861. Keep in mind, right after 1861, that's when you had right during that time, that's when you had the Civil War. That's when you had the real thing to take place. And then even if you go back and you listen to Dr. King was talking to poor white folks too.
Right.
And while you sitting there thinking it's okay to have your foot on my neck, they got their foot on yours as well. So to that point, these things happen. But now, not only is it in housing where we're seeing housing prices skyrocket. Gentlemen, I'm listening to some of my friends around the country to tell me about rent prices. That the folks who own these places where they're renting, they're jacking their prices up on. Some people are telling me that they're paying upwards of $3,000 for rent in a place that's half the size of my house.
That's right. Dr. Mack, that's real.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. I wanted to jump in real quick before I jumped off to get my coffee. That dream of owning a house for me, like a lot of people are saying in the chat, I canceled that dream about 10 years ago. Honestly, truly, because at the end of the day, I don't make enough money, according to anybody that does anything with houses. Don't make enough. And then with student loans and everything else, at one point, my credit was good enough where I could have done it. Like when I owned a house originally with my ex-husband, everything was good and we owned it. But the thing was, because I had a judgment from my student loans on my credit, my name couldn't go on the deed at all. So at this point, I'm just like, I know my credit is shot to hell. That judgment is still on there. Yeah, I'm going to be renting for the rest of my life probably, unless I buy a house full out cash.
And if you do get a house, DJ, it's got to go to some place where population is scarce, because everybody around. And when you talk about the dominoes being in effect, the same thing, Ben, when you talk about what happens economically to us as a people, and I'm not saying just black folks, I'm saying Americans across the board. Think about that from what DJ has just said about student loans. Student loans is an absolute crisis in this country. When you take a look at that. So now just imagine you take two people, and Tina Turner's song comes into mind. What's love got to do with it? You take two people who have gone to college, and all of a sudden they say they're in love and they want to get married. Both of them college educated. What is the loan? What is their debt just based on student loans when they start that relationship? And now they want to go out and they want to have this grandiose wedding. Now that adds to it. Then they done graduated. They got to get new cars. They got to try to get a house. Look at the mountain of debt that your love has to survive. And I've always said there ain't no romance without finance.
Dr. Mack just said a whole lot that is so doggone true. Just like if y'all would only knew everything that Dr. Mack said it's exactly what it is. It like for real.
You lighten my pastor antennas up, because if you lay the things out, I think this is in pursuit of a non-collectivist way of life. Mm-hmm. So when I think about when my wife and I moved in with my parents, right, and we stayed there and we collectivized our money, we collectivized our resource. If I get rid of this need to be distant in this big palace around me, and I moved back to a space, I was perfectly fine living in close quarters with folks, right? Now, there's part of our life I had to do it with little resource, but I also have lived that experience with resource, and the amount of things that we were able to do, the amount of clearing of the mortgage line that they were able to do. We are now, because some of my family members pooled together, lived together, collectivized together, we've got a plot of family land that we can build on, and we want to save money to it. It's not a thought. We come together, we live in there, we make it so that we can save them ducats. And now all of a sudden we're putting money not back into somebody else's hand, but I'm buying land from my uncle. I'm buying land from my grandmother. I'm so I think there's also an opportunity, going back to the institution building, for us to pull back into some of our collectivist approaches and thinking, and to start asking the question, how do I work outside? Not outside necessarily in the legal space, although I don't have a problem with some of that. Jesus was illegal too. But if according to man, he was shift right. He was challenging power. He was feeding 5,000 people and making them not pay taxes to Rome. That's a political statement. I'm fine with that. But there's an opportunity here for us to rely on that ancestral that has gotten us through so many things, to start to think about how we do that in a different way. If we don't get compelled to, as what you were saying, Dr. Mack, if we don't get compelled to have to have this giant wedding. I have a friend who got married at a brew pub and said, everybody come and leave some dollars at the front door. Not only did they have a cheaper wedding, but folks came, had tossed some brews back. The officiating was great. They still had a Christian message, which I loved. It was awesome. And then they left with $5,000 in cash in hand. Yes. Right. So I think there's some opportunity here as we see that the systems that we've built around that are centered around greed and debt and borrowing and all that stuff don't work for us. Right. This is the time for some to reclaim some of our collectivist identity.
And Pastor, even when you talk about events like that, like weddings, the same thing with children's birthdays. All of a sudden, now children's birthdays have to be this grandiose event. And I've tried to say to my friends, listen, I have I got two sons. One's 18, one's 15. From the moment that they were born, even before they were born, the woman that I said, I wanted you to be the mother, I want you to be my baby mama, my ex-wife, right? We were married for 16 and a half years. But she understood before we started procreation that the moment our children get a Social Security number, we will squirrel away every paycheck, we will squirrel away money. And so now, and I said, by the time our children turn 18, I need $180 some odd $1,000 in each one of them's college fund. And we just squirreled away because the law says this, the law of money, the Karl Marx law. If you ain't got a whole lot of money, you better hope you got a whole lot of time.
Come on,
and if you ain't got a whole lot of time, you damn sure better have a whole lot of money. So what I've said to my friends now, who, when they have children and they want to talk about, how do I save for their college fund? I said, well, first and foremost, when you have a birthday, tell your friends not to buy them toys and all that. Our children got more toys than you know what to do with. How about just dropping $10 into their 529 plan?
Come on.
There it is.
Let those little things, let those little collective things. If you got 20 people coming to the wedding and everybody drops in $10 or $20, because Lord knows you're going to spend a lot more than that when you run and all the other places you do, renting these inflatable balloons outside your place, and you got camels and donkeys and everything. Come on, man. Let's get back to the simplicity of collectiveness and let that amount of money over time, because there's a relation. You want to talk about love. Romeo and Juliet ain't it. The greatest love affair is the relationship between time and money.
All right. Speaking of time,
that'll preach.
Right. Speaking of time and speaking of money, I want to bring into the conversation Georgia State Senator Vincent Fort. He is running for Congress in Georgia's 13th congressional district, and he's here to discuss campaigning, not only his campaign but your work on the 21st Century Economic Bill of Rights. You've been working with Professor Harvey Kaye and Alan Linsky. Senator Fort, thank you so much for joining us this morning. How are you?
Good. I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's ours. We have the full house of gentlemen. They have Dr. Carl Mack, DJ Exclusive, and Pastor Anthony Galloway, all distinguished gentlemen from different parts of the country. And we're all engaged in a conversation that I think is pertinent to your work. We're talking about the struggle, the financial struggle. We're talking about people who have to live paycheck to paycheck and what it is that we can do innovatively on our own side in terms of collectivism, but in terms of policy. A lot of these things are 100% policy decisions. Tell us about your work as it pertains to the Economic Bill of Rights.
Well, I've been talking directly with Alan Linsky, watching, as a matter of fact, watch part of the program that you had with them. So this issue of economic rights is absolutely critical. First, we, particularly African Americans, we have to understand that we need to move some of these economic issues from being an issue or being a privilege to a right. I believe that healthcare is a human right, and therefore, in my campaign, I'm talking probably more than anything else about healthcare. When COVID hit, the 13th district, which is outside of Atlanta, west and south of Atlanta, it was devastating. Some of the zip codes in my district were some of the most devastated in the state of Georgia by COVID. And guess what? Just a couple of weeks ago was announced that one of the hospitals in South Fulton, where the 13th district is in partially, it's closing down. A hospital closing down is probably the worst thing that could happen
especially
to a community.
In that area,
Absolutely.
There's not enough hospitals as it is in that area.
Absolutely. So you had that combination of a COVID pandemic plus a hospital closing down. And that's why I think it's time, more so now than ever, that we have guaranteed universal health care. No deductibles, no co-payments, but straight up guaranteed health care. We are the only industrialized country in the world without it. So these issues of economic rights that Roosevelt talked about 80 years ago, that we are starting to talk about in the rebirth of the progressive movement here in this country, is an absolutely critical conversation.
Dr. Mack.
No, I'm Senator, first of all, in the state of Georgia, obviously, and I just want to ask you about your campaign right now. You know, because of what happened in the state of Georgia being flipped like that, what are you seeing around voter suppression that you think would make your bid to represent us challenging?
Yeah, I served in the Georgia State Senate for 21 years, beginning in 1997 to 2021. And voter suppression is not an advent just of 2020, 2021. When the Republicans took over the Georgia State Legislature in about 2002, 2003, and 4, I saw the Republicans start that wave of voter suppression in the early 2000s. As a matter of fact, I believe Georgia, if not Indiana, Georgia was the first state to pass voter ID laws in the early 2000s. And I remember the rock and roll fights we had on the floor of the state Senate, pushing back against that. What has happened in the last couple of years is that the Republicans have taken it to another level with their voter suppression, exact match on absentee ballots. Your signature has to match exactly as it appears in the records that they're using to compare absentee ballots. It's just a way to reject more and more people's absentee ballots, all the way over to things like making it illegal to give someone water who's standing in line in the Georgia heat. So, you know, voter suppression is absolutely critical issue. And I'll be honest with you, all of our economic rights, whether it be healthcare or jobs, whatever it is, are contingent upon our political rights, the ability to vote. So one of the things that, you know, I was going to say advocate for, but I'm going to fight for. My history in the Georgia legislature and in the community that I serve is as a activist, as a fighter. And one of the, along with universal health care, the issue of voter suppression is absolutely paramount because without our voting rights, we cannot implement our economic rights.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Pastor Galloway, I want you to get in there.
Yeah, I was. So I love this idea not this idea, but the shift in language to right. And I think that this is something that I'm in Minnesota, in particular the northern part of Minnesota. So this idea of a right to healthcare. You when you said economic rights, you named healthcare. It encompasses a lot. I'm curious, as you make this case, what all are you identifying as a right? I heard you say healthcare. I heard you say, in terms of employment, but housing seems like it would be in that space as well. All of these affect the economic life. So can you kind of, because I want to use that language because I think it's absolutely essential. In South Africa, where I studied for a while, one of the constitutional rights is the right to a house. Now they've had to fight for the quality of that house. Absolutely. Right. But there's not a question in that regard. As you've already put forward in many other industrialized parts of the world, healthcare is no longer questioned as something that you have a right or access to. And so I love that. Can you articulate all the things that you see that need to become a right in terms of economic bill?
Absolutely. One is affordable housing, as you said. One issue that I've worked on, I'm a former college teacher, taught at Morehouse College as well as Morris Brown College for many years. I've walked in my first college classroom as a professor in 1982 when I was 26 years old. And so I believe that the right to higher education, not just K through 12, but higher education is a human right. Every young person, every person ought to be able to get as much education as their skills and talents allow. If you're smart enough and ambitious enough, we should not say that the only education you get is through 12th grade. So one of the elements of the Build Back Better plan was free 2-year college or training. During my time in the legislature, I fought for money for two-year schools in the city of Atlanta, Atlanta Technical College and Atlanta Metropolitan College, funneled $45 million into those two schools to build buildings so they could offer better programs, better certificates, whether it be radiology certificate or a dental assistant certificate. So that's been a focus of my career. We really, New Mexico is advancing on this issue, by the way. They have passed free public college. And that's something that I think ought to be a right. When the Build Back Better plan did not go forward, that issue of free 2-year college really bothered me that part did not pass.
But Senator, let me jump in and ask this question when it comes to just education, just because all of these are just huge efforts, right? And so one of the things, having sat on a board of trustees of a college, one of the things that I've come to
electrical
understand,
work, carpentry, etc. So I don't want this to be a narrow thing that you can only get a quote unquote liberal arts degree. We need to educate our young people, particularly children of color. So we need to establish that right to a higher education in our country. And then finally is the environment. The environment. I'm supportive of the Green New Deal, but I connected to this issue of jobs and job training, saying that particularly children of color need to be trained to deal with the issue of our environment, to retrofit residential as well as commercial properties for to deal with the environmental effects of climate change.
Right.
And Senator, I'm not sure if you all can hear me now.
Yes, we got you now.
So Senator, if I just go back and just focus on education for a minute, because all of these issues are just absolutely huge issues, right? And so if the problem, the challenge that I see, and having sat on a board of
I'm not hearing y'all.
Okay. Well, we lost. You know what, Dr. Mack? Let's hold it here. Sure. Senator Ford, we're gonna have to get you back on another time to talk a little bit more about this. We're coming up at the top of the hour already. I want to thank you for coming on and talking about this economic bill of rights. We definitely are going to support that. I also want to thank Pastor Anthony Galloway of St. Mark AME in Duluth, Minnesota. Thank you always, brother, for coming. And then Dr. Carl Mack. Thank you so much for taking your time this morning to come out. Gentlemen, thank you so much for all that you do. We're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, like it or not, it's getting ready to go down. We'll be back right after this.
Happy Friday to you, Tracy, as well, too. Happy Earth Day, everybody. My friend keeps saying, cheer up, mate. It could be worse. You could be stuck underground in a hole full of water. I know he means well. Good morning, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Like it or not, it's going down here on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Make sure, if you have not already, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/the BPD show. Make sure that you join, man. Hey, I think we're going to try to do a karaoke party next week. That's what I'm really leaning into. So in order to make it work right, we need y'all's cooperation to get some stuff situated, because that means sharing you guys' screen in Zoom. So I'm going to put together an FAQ. We're going to get it sent out, so y'all will be ready. Y'all get y'all singing voices ready, and we'll get some karaoke going on. Y'all know I like to sing. Be singing all day and all night.
I ran around Lake Tahoe. Not once, don't stop, no. Cause I'm a brand new model. With a brand new model. Yeah, I called out Carlos. Said I won't be calling. Instead of my old tempo. It wouldn't make much sense, so yeah. Ask me how it feels. I said,
Box Avoided. I kind of like that name. Box Avoided. Good morning to you. Peace from Brooklyn. Shout out Brooklyn in the building. BK. Okay.
What about your heart? Does it beat too hard? My love.
Laura Estrada, we can try it. I mean, it could work in theory. I'll see what we can do, Laura. I'll see what we can do. Razorback, it's karaoke. Everybody can sing in karaoke. It doesn't matter if you can sing or not. It's karaoke. I think karaoke translates. Six Dragon Daddy helped me here, if I'm not mistaken. Karaoke translate into bad singing, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Am I wrong? We'll see. Somebody will let me know.
Y'all know what time it is. Good morning, y'all.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Like It or Not. Snack Panther, I can get stage fright. Tone, thank you, Box Avoided. I knew somebody was going to get it for me. Karaoke in Japanese means tone deaf. That's exactly what it means. There we go, Promises Manifested. What do you call a parade of rabbits hopping backwards? A receding hairline. Promises Manifested. I can't stand you. Right, F8L Flaw Dragon. If Rudy Giuliani, excuse me, can get his punk ass on The Masked Singer and sing, then all our asses can get in Zoom and sing together, okay? That was an awesome comment, F8L. I love that.
TJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am.
And speaking of Rudy Giuliani, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. Like It or Not is coming up next.
Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh,
thank you, Fatal Flaw. I appreciate that. Because you know I'm going to say F8L everything. I'm going to say the whole name.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning,
good morrow to all of you. Guten Morgen and welcome to Like It or Not.
Well, we are free to tell thy truth.
And not careth who doesn't like it. It is Friday, Earth Day, and we are here with none other than Delicious.
All right,
Good
y'all.
morning,
Thank y'all for joining. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all have an awesome weekend.
No, I want to welcome my brother from another mother. I got to do it properly. That is no way to introduce a grown man to people who haven't seen him in over a year. My sincerest apologies for giving an inside joke between brothers to an audience who doesn't quite know us as brothers yet. But Darren Smith has a long history with us, even if you've never seen him with us before. Welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to join you, gentlemen. So thank you so much. It's been far too long, Ben, and we're not going to lay blame on anyone, but we appreciate the invite. And
damn that, Darren. Lay all the blame. Okay, let me stop.
It's been quite the journey, Darren, since we last saw. Hang on, let me turn around and look at the camera. You know, I don't ever look at the camera, especially when how you looking, man? Let's see. Brother, you looking good over there, man. You on that Kanye workout plan, man?
He got the broadcast headset on and everything. I'm like, damn, I want one of those.
Got the diamond cross on and ESP. Man, you're looking like money over there, man. We miss you around here. You are our when we talk about sports ball, I know, you know, we all have our different gifts. I know a little bit about sports ball. When it comes to sports ball, for real though, we look at you, man, and you always give us some insight. What's been going on with you, man? What's like? Well, we got stories, but none of the stories are more important than catching up, man. What you been up to?
Right.
Just working and covering sports, man. Just got back from the Final Four a couple weeks ago when I covered Kansas, the University of Kansas basketball and football. So of course, going down there for the Final Four, spent about 6 days down there celebrating my birthday while I was down there. And good thing is they came back with a national championship, so it was pretty
nice.
good. And now, of course, we're in the midst of baseball and soccer. So had the Royals game yesterday. Sporting Kansas City, soccer this Saturday night. I've got the press conference today with Brett Veach, the Chiefs general manager, pre-draft press conference that we're meeting with him today at around 11:30 locally. So I'll be headed over to Arrowhead around that time to do that. I was scheduled to go to the draft next week, but with the NFL releasing their schedule as it relates to the season coming up next week, I got to say some of my duck, because I generally pay for this stuff up front so I can not pay taxes when it all boils down to give a refund. So I decided not to go to Vegas because I got a feeling that the Chiefs are going to be traveling to Germany, that they're going to announce on May 4th to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, wow.
So I need my Nuggets to make sure I got,
man, well,
James, Darren, I'll go in your place. Just let me know this. Send me credentials and I go in your place.
Go, I gotta add this last name for this credential. So if you want to go, I just I need to know.
What's up, bit? Yeah, okay.
I love it. I love it, man. I was just gonna say, man, I love that everybody in our orbit got this this little bit of grit. We all got this level of professionalism, right? We definitely can present ourselves as professionals, but if you talk to us long enough, you realize all of us got a lot of street in us too. Just a little bit of hustle, a little street, a little bit of everything.
But that ain't
exactly.
Okay. I'm hood. I grew up hood adjacent, is what I like to tell the people. Let's talk about James. You talked about the Masked Singer. Now, Rudy Giuliani was on the Masked Singer, and the actor. What's the actor's name from? Did You Die?
Kenyon,
yeah. He walked out and I think a lot of people have seen it's gone viral. It's a really short clip, but I think that's the only appropriate reaction. Let's take a look at this clip from Masked Singer as he walks completely out when he realized who's been singing behind the mask the entire time.
On the day I was born, the nurses all gathered around, and they gazed in wide wonder. She could tell them right away that I was bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Former mayor of New York City.
Is that Papa Duvall?
No, that's Papa Duvall.
Rudy Giuliani! No way!
It's only like 3 people clapping in the audience.
1,000 hearts before I met you.
And I'm done.
Break 1,000 more, baby, before I am through. The main reason is I just had a granddaughter, Grace, and I want her to know that you should try everything, even things that are completely unlike you and unlikely. And I couldn't think of anything more unlike me and unlikely than this.
I've got words, but Darren, you're on deck. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm not even sure why the producers thought this was a good idea, and especially with the words that he said afterwards when Nick Cannon was interviewing him. It's like it doesn't even match your actions over the last few years. So you want, let's just say, it shows a sense of heightened arrogancy that that he would go and say this, knowing the words and the deeds that he's done over the past 4 or 5 years. And mind you, now this statement took place back in February. So not only Ken Young, but also Robin Thicke walked out. They just didn't show Robin Thicke walking out. But but this is the height of arrogance, and I could say so much more, but
yeah,
I love all
absolutely. It's really one of those things where this is where Fox News meets Fox regular cable network. So whoever it was over there that decided that this was a good idea, they just need their ass whooped. Because
and not only that, I mean, the Masked Singer, if I'm correct, usually features people who can actually sing.
Come on, man.
So I don't know if it was a thing where he called in a favor. Hey, but again, to me is why would you even tie him into a knowing he can't sing? I know he used to do some opera stuff or some stuff on Broadway, being dressed in drag and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean he can sing. And this is for so it is what it is.
This is the rehabilitation of of monsters. Go ahead, James.
I was about to say that David just said it in the chat. Sarah Palin was on here once, but Sarah Palin people can tolerate. At least, people were amused by her ball, the funny skits they did on SNL. Exactly.
Door to door.
What was the brother's name from Michigan State? That Glenn Rice. I mean, he tolerated her too. So I mean,
right.
I'm just saying.
Oh man, this is the rehabilitation. Remember they had Sean Spicer. He was a former press secretary for Donald Trump. Sean Spicer on Dancing with the Stars. They're going to let these. What are we going to have next, right? You're going to have David Duke, doing the wobble.
Shit.
Like where are we going with this?
No, you'll probably have Mike Huckabee's daughter, Sarah Huckabee, on there, or the last White House press secretary.
McEnany.
The other chick. I mean, they're all going to be from the same ilk.
What is her name? What is her name?
Crazy chick. I don't know, one who just lied.
It's an election cycle coming around, right? So maybe that's probably got something to do with it. I mean, Giuliani ain't gonna get shit, but let's put Giuliani on the TV and see what happens and see if we can get our ratings. What the
man? It's rehabilitation of criminals. They're like these people should be in jail, but yet they're on Dancing with the Stars and Masked Singer and all that stuff, man. So it's
and I'll be honest, for real, the worst thing about it is that it still shows that there's two different classes, two different rules for people. Because for you to be able to do the BS that you did, especially during the whole insurrection stuff like that, and then you're on the Masked Singer,
yes,
you get an opportunity and you try to rehabilitate yourself and talk about your granddaughter. I mean, that's the type of stuff that really if you're middle American or just any American seeing that, and then of course, if you all wanted to ask me my thoughts on Kevin McCarthy, I mean, it just shows, the height of hypocrisy when it comes to Republicans. But not all Republicans are like that. But if you're like that, you're probably a Republican.
Bro. Darren, I forgot Darren be coming with whole clips, man, loaded clips, like just like bang bang, just don't stop. All right, here we go. We got another story. This one is actually. I like this. Anyway, you'll see why I like it. Jay-Z and Yo Gotti blow the whistle on prisons. The Justice Department finds unsafe conditions at a Mississippi prison. No kidding. The Justice Department concluded Wednesday that the Mississippi State Penitentiary, also known as Parchman, has violated a number of constitutional rights granted to those incarcerated at the prison. Kristen Clark, Assistant Attorney General of the Civil Rights Division, said, quote, "The Constitution guarantees that all people incarcerated in jails and prisons are treated humanely, that reasonable measures are taken to keep them safe, and that they receive necessary mental health care, treatment, and services to address their needs." She went on to say, our investigations uncovered evidence of systematic violations that have generated a violent and unsafe environment for people incarcerated at Parchman. We are committed to taking action that will ensure the safety of all people held at Parchman and other state prison facilities. The investigation was launched in February of 2020 after Jay-Z, Yo Gotti, and Rock Nation's Social Justice Division, Team Rock, obtained legal representation for over 200 individuals incarcerated at Parchman and filed several lawsuits over alleged inhumane conditions at the prison. I like the story simply because, these prisons get billions of dollars. Billions of dollars go to private contractors who service these prisons. And these are literal hellscapes. We're at the bottom of the empire of this big, massive behemoth, the United States of America. They're grinding our kids and our boys and our men into pulp in places like Rikers, but particularly this one is focused on the long-term conditions in the state of Mississippi. Darren, I know this is not news to anybody, because anybody who has had any proximity to the prison system, even if it's just anything, it is the absolute worst conditions, and it is always inhumane.
Well, it's always inhumane, and let's remember why these prisons are built. They're built to put us behind bars.
Yep.
And the people who are, like you talk about the private, the prison industry.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who are getting that money don't look like us. So I mean, so it's a recurring, unending cycle. And the fact that, it took what Jay-Z and others did for the Justice Department to tell us that the sky is blue.
Come on.
Right.
I mean, Go ahead, Brother Darren. Go ahead. A lot of this stuff. A lot of stuff for me is not surprising. It's telling me the water's wet, and and the stove fire is hot. I mean, there's little things like that. That okay, great. Saying you put it out on paper, and you put the stuff out there. But what are you going to do about it? I mean, because and it's not like you haven't known this for years, but it's because, and thankfully, someone of high profile status such as Jay-Z called attention to it. Because you can do this for probably any prison in the 50 states of the United States and find the same stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then y'all don't forget, pay attention to how long this investigation took. This was February in 2020 when this started. So over 2 years for y'all to complete this investigation. Right. I'm sure this investigation was completed a while back, and y'all probably tried to change some things ahead of time to try to get ahead of this. This is 2 years out. So it shouldn't have took this long. Come on now. We know the prison system is effed up, and these conditions in these prisons are unfavorable. So just 2 years, it's kind of just like a slap in the face almost. Y'all drug this on for the longest.
And then the big question for me, James and Darren, is what are they going to do about it?
Yeah,
what are they going to do about it?
I mean, that's a real good question. I mean, they'll pay lip service. They'll do some stuff. I don't know. I haven't read it in depth, so I don't know whether or not they're going to replace some staffers or they're going to upgrade facilities or just make sure that the prisoners are treated humanely. I'm not quite sure, but this stay in the press for a little bit, and then I think it'll just fade to black.
Yep,
that's just my opinion.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
And if you're on a plane, well, hell, I don't care if you're on a bus. I don't care if you're riding a horse and you're sitting behind Mike Tyson. If the man, first of all, you don't even say anything but good day, sir. Good morrow.
Would you like my seat?
Exactly.
Is there anything I can help? How is your mental health today, sir? Is there anything we could do for you?
Mike, can I have your autograph?
Or your autograph. Or can you show me, how you bob and weave? He has a unique style of how he bobs and weaves. And, I've seen people try it in real life and they get their head knocked off. So I would like him to, I'll ask him that. But what I'm not going to do, gentlemen, is do something to get my head bust split by the now peaceful Mike Tyson. Watch this clip as this white man who's out of his mind, clearly drunk, but also drunk on the intoxication of white supremacy, white mediocrity, and white arrogance, get his ass head split by Mike Tyson himself. Let's watch the footage.
Dude kept messing with Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson trying to give us some shrooms.
You don't know how to act. Tyson looking out, man. This shit crazy.
He should have never gave you his money.
Hey.
Oh, shit.
Mike, come on. Let's call back. Let's lose the horse, man.
That blue red flight. My boy just got beat up by Mike Tyson. Turn that way. Yeah, he got f***ed up. Trying to ask for autograph.
If F around and found out was a person part two, I keep telling y'all keep messing with these people, man. They are regular people like you and I. They just got more money. That's it.
But
Now,
you know, it was interesting when the highlight first came out. Of course, it tried to make it seem like Mike Tyson was the aggressor, and of course, tried to put the onus on black man beating up a white guy. Then once the video starts coming out, everybody's like, I mean, you've got people, even conservatives, like, look, man, if you messing with Mike Tyson, you get everything that and he's not bothering nobody. He's trying to be chill. If you're harassing Mike Tyson, then you get whatever is coming to you, and that's look, man. I mean. We've had the conversation, and and the joke is out there. Well, if your girl says something to Mike Tyson, the first thing you do is ask, "Well, what did you say?" It's like, he just ain't gonna haul off and hit you for nothing now, because
right.
You have to realize you have to make a business decision if you think you're gonna confront Mike Tyson. See, it's the difference with that Chris Rock and Will Smith. He'll go slap Will Smith. He'll go smack Chris Rock.
Right.
Mike Tyson make that joke. You're thinking about, the next movie coming up and whether or not the check gonna clear. You're not.
He's thinking about whether or not his cheek, his jawbone gonna recover.
Mess up my pretty face or not? No, I'm okay.
Yeah, man. Listen. For whatever Mike Tyson was, I can tell you what I see this brother as now is a zen ass dude. This dude has found a way to find some peace in the middle of his own storms. And let me tell you, just as a person who actually knows how to go and find my own zen, the last thing you want to do is to make someone have to angrily get out of their zen space, because they're doing it as quickly as they can so that they can get back to their zen. Do you see how quickly he resolved that issue once he decided to lay hands on that man? What was it, like an 8-piece snack? Pop, 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 and then it was over.
Well, see, the beautiful thing is that, because you always try to talk about bring somebody out of, or get them out of character. Well, that is his character, because that's what he does. So there was footage going around, where he was doing some stuff at the age of 15. Now, if that man's moving like that at 15 and he's still moving like that at 55, life should kind of, again, man, sometimes.
What kind of dumb you got to be, and what drugs was he doing?
I believe it was shrooms, and
he said something about shrooms too.
He gave him some, to kind of calm him down. But
shrooms will have you in the corner doing, looking at the space between the walls before it had you going after Mike Tyson. This was bad.
You're right. Like Mike was trying to get a man in shrooms to calm your ass down. Like, first of all, I'm good, Mike, but this one is coming from Mike Tyson. I'm like, I'm honored. I'm just gonna take it. I'm not gonna take it, but I'll take it. But I'm not gonna take it.
In my professional life, I've been blessed to have sit across. So I've interviewed Deontay Wilder and been to his fights and talked to him, backstage. So I've been where where he's across the table from me, where we're doing interviews. Now, my mama didn't raise no punk. She didn't raise no beat. But even I know that my fight skills are up to that, and I've seen what he's done to people. Now, if Deontay Wilder crossed paths with me and we have a different table, well, I'm getting the gat. I'm not fighting this man straight up.
Okay.
Wait. Thank you.
I mean, mama didn't raise no fool. My pastor didn't, raise no dummy. And God gave us, a discerning mind, hearts and mind. And so,
right, because this ain't Friday. I ain't trying to fight Debo.
This is also the reason why I don't do drugs, because drugs can mess with your mind and make you do some things.
Yes.
It depends.
I'm about that life, but I ain't about that life.
We don't do the same drugs, because I don't know what drugs that man is doing, but marijuana ain't never made nobody do something stupid like try to fight Mike Tyson. I tell you that much. But listen, when you talk about ain't raising no fools, y'all reminded me. We're gonna go to the next story. Y'all reminded me of the story of I was riding at Coral Square Mall down in Coral Springs, Florida, and I
pulled in and I was trying to get a parking space. Y'all already know what it's like trying to get a parking space. And this little car, you know, I don't know. I figured it was, I don't know who it was, but they cut me off and jumped in front of the space and got the space from me. And I said, the devil, I got up my car. I was like, ready to go. Y'all done gave me a reason to act like a Negro. And out jumped three brothers, all about 6'2", 6'3". And I said, you gentlemen have a good day. I hope you enjoy that space. And I went on about my business to the other end of the mall. But mom ain't raised no fool. I ain't no coward, but I know how to hold them and fold them. Let's go to the next story.
Right, man.
Now, had it been a Karen, I don't know. I ain't gonna fight nobody over space, but I think I would have said a little bit more. But you know when to keep your mouth shut. But all right, let's take a look at this black pilot. We're going into some black joy now. This black pilot graces the skies. This is one of our viewers' cousins starts. Is it one of our viewers? Viewers' cousin starts program for aspiring black youth, and this is from Kane. It looks like Kanye to me, but this is a Twitter handle at Kane12. Follow her on Twitter. They said, I hope it's okay to share this with you. This is one of our cousin, a supporter's cousin, featured on CBS, founder of Fly Compton. They're in LA and they wake up at 5 a.m. to get ready for work and watch the show. And they said they love us. So yeah, wow, this is totally one of our supporters. Their cousin is a black pilot gracing the skies. Let's take a look at it.
Giving young people the chance to dream is the mission of a California nonprofit that's taking to the skies with the next generation of aviators. Here's CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
Release the brakes.
18-year-old Alicia Arnold's dream of flying for an airline began to soar after a chance encounter with a woman pilot.
I used to always think only like men could do it, and so I saw her and I was like, yeah, I can do this, and now here I am.
Arnold and about 40 others ages 8 to 18 spend their Saturdays at Fly Compton, a Southern California nonprofit aimed at introducing inner-city kids to aviation.
Are there students that you see in your class that you expect to see in an airline cockpit one day?
Yeah, I would say about 40 to 50% of the kids. I'll see them in the cockpit for sure. There we go.
Alaska Airlines pilot Ron Norman is one of Fly Compton's founders. The idea came early in the pandemic as a way to pay their aviation successes forward.
You're up. You send a message that you can do it. I mean, a guy like me, from Compton, California, making it to this point, you definitely can do it.
93% of U.S. pilots are white, and only about 5% are women. Less than 1% are women of color.
Seeing people who look just like me living this dream, it's just like, wow, I can become part of this community and hopefully make it grow as well.
What's the altitude, 1,000?
Soaring to new heights and proving the sky is her only limit.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Compton.
Oh, you know what?
That's amazing.
That felt...
I like that.
I like that. David, did you pick that? Who picked that? That was an whoever picked it. Shout out to y'all. That really. Oh no! Wait a minute. I'm dumb. There's our supporter who wakes up at 5 a.m. to get ready for work and watch our show. This was thank you so much for sharing that, because that's a really good thing. Now, here's the thing, guys. I hate flying. So I have a lot of admiration for people who are brave enough to actually get in a plane in the first place, but then to try to fly one. Man, shout out to all of them over there in Compton. That's a great look.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is. You know, especially because it's good seeing our black brothers and sisters up there in the cockpit.
In the friendly skies.
In the friendly skies. While you
Y'all
got
seen
these,
Soul Plane?
well, we got our white counterparts here in Georgia crashing planes intentionally just to jump out of the plane with a parachute on.
What?
Just for likes and views. Yeah.
What?
It's real. Yeah, it happened.
What's wrong with people? All right. A couple other. We got a quick rundown of clips here.
And I know before you go there, Ben, I know Brother Darren got to get out of here. So Darren, before you get out, man, share your thoughts and get on out of here, man.
Well, first of all, I mean, hopefully you all will have me back again. I do miss the people. I do miss the the live chats and stuff. And for Roller Dragon, I do want to say, whatever happened in Florida with that's just dealing with that place down there, with Disney. It's got nothing to do with me. So, I mean, it's always good talking sports and politics and entertainment with you all. And hopefully we can do this again real soon.
Man, anytime, man. We love to
Most
have you
definitely.
back. We're good to have you back on the screen, brother. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, you all do the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, James.
All right, brother Ben, what we got left, sir? Let's run it down.
Let's run it down here. Let me pull up my list back.
I mean, David, you ain't got a one shot. I mean, you can bring Ben's avatar on the screen. Damn.
Yeah, it's
golly, man.
It's a little creepy, but it works. It
big
works.
ass black lips on the screen, man. Shit, my lips too big. They black as hell.
All right.
And the light is natural today, so it's like it's really popping. It's just like see all the natural colors and everything. And when you zoom in, it's just like, hey, what's up? You know, no, it's okay.
James, we got no sense whatsoever. And at the end of the day, bro, I gotta tell you, man. Listen, you gotta hit the streets with us. But next time I'm in Atlanta, you saw me in that video where I was looking
get some goddamn barbecue.
Yeah, I was over there at Bussin' Barbecue, and man, we had so much fun over there. I swear to God, people I met, and like 5 minutes later, after meeting them, we in the liquor store that was in front. They were barbecuing in front of the liquor store. We in the liquor store on the floor laughing. Just because we were just roasting each other. I don't know how this happened, James, but people I just met maybe 30 minutes before, I mean, we had some barbecue and we had some, I greet each other with anyway, the point is we went in there and we just had a level of brotherhood and laughter that is just something that is cathartic, man. Like everybody. And I brought that up to say, whenever people leave you and me on this show by ourselves, it doesn't matter what we talk about. We're going to end up laughing at some shenanigans that should not be laughed about on the air. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, they should never leave us alone. And I mean, I don't know why they have not known this yet or picked up on this shit yet. But I mean, hey, if this is what y'all do, this is what y'all get.
It's okay. I want the show to be in the last 30 minutes. Leave me and James.
It's cool. Because the best thing about me and Ben, we gonna end at 10 o'clock, maybe 9:45, and we gonna be good. We gonna get through all the goddamn stories and everything.
We're gonna laugh about everything, but we're gonna get through everything, and we're gonna give y'all about 10 minutes back in the rest of your day because we like to feel like we're professional. You know how you sign those emails. Okay, guys, on the end of the conference call. Okay, guys, we're gonna give you 10 minutes back in your day.
Right. Hate that shit though. All right, guys, we're gonna give you 10 minutes back on your time today. So if nobody else has anything, and I hate it when it's always that one heifer. Hey, and unfortunately I am that heifer. Hey, last week we said that XYZ, and then there goes the 10 minutes back in your day, and I actually added about 20. I'm that guy. I'm sorry.
I am too. Because if we gonna meet, right? You ain't gonna waste my time and just we gonna get everything you asked me to come down these steps and walk into this conference room for. We gonna do it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring up the stuff that you forgot about, Mr. Moderator. So,
Mr. Moderator,
and this could have been an email.
Look, they told me last week too, like, James, you're just so professional on the call, and you just have so much energy, and just like you're always optimistic, and I appreciate that. I told this man straight up. I said, hey, I appreciate that, I really do, but I'm gonna tell you, Trevor, I am known to shake the table a lot. So I'm just gonna let you know now. I am nice right now, but when I get to it, I like to shake the table.
James.
You know he don't know what that means, so I'm just like when I say shake the table, I'm going to press back on everything. No, I don't like it. But we the client. I know you're the client, but I don't give a fuck. I don't like it. How you tell somebody in their own business that you don't give a F if they don't like it?
I fired a client. I fired a client one time. I gave them their money back. I said, take your money. And they were so mad. They were like, I can't believe you're so arrogant. You said, take your money. No, take your money back. Take all those stuff. I didn't care. I was like, because I would rather, what you're not going to do is, see, you're not going to hire me to do a job and then bring me down to your level of unprofessionalism. We're not doing that today. Anyway, moving on to the next story. This says, I promise you are not prepared for Tucker Carlson's last special trailer. It is called The End of Men. Okay, let's take a look at Tucker Carlson's trailer, The End of Men. The hell?
Interesting. What the hell? Is this real?
Once a society collapses, then you're in hard times. Well, hard iron sharpens iron, as they say, and those hard times inevitably produce men who are tough, men who are resourceful, men who are strong enough to survive. And then they go on to re-establish order, and so the cycle begins again.
Okay.
Did I just watch a clip for a new gay movie that's coming out?
I was going to say, I don't know if this is coming off the way Tucker thinks it's coming off.
It looks real. It looks real.
Homoerotic?
It looks real. Yeah, it looks real gay. It looks like, I thought it was like about to be some never mind.
James, he said this looks like an opening sequence of a gay porn.
Yeah, because it just look like some of the videos of the you know what, never mind. Just never mind. Anywho, next story, because they look like a bathhouse. It look like he about you know what? Thank you. Somebody said it. Hallelujah, it's raining, man. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like it's
oh man. Oh man!
Like
they have
yes,
the scene with the milk and the cow, bro.
The cow udders. Thank you, Deb. What is going on with the cow udders? What is? See, that bestiality shit is real.
Thou dost protest too much, Tucker.
And I mean, his name is Tucker Cause he already got a porn name. God, Tucker doing porn. I'm not here for it. That is okay. You know what? That's probably terrible for me to say. But if he got a corona ejection on his forehead, I can see that. I can see that. That's what his. You know what? That's what his forehead. You know what? I keep saying you know what, and like I'm gonna stop, but it's just like it's kind of hard to not keep going in on this, man. I just hope somebody just. You need to be a black man to a strong mandingo man. Just. James. Corona ejection all over
James Josephus Williams.
Okay, I'm Corona ropes.
James Hezekiah
double
Williams.
Dutch. Six Dragon Daddy double Dutch. Did you call me Hezekiah?
James Hezekiah Williams.
Oh, Jesus. What kind of porn is this? And I'm not interested. I'm not buying this. Even if it's on Pornhub for free, I'm not watching. It's okay. Just some stuff, even if it's free, it's just not good. This is okay. It's all right. Never mind.
Tucker. Oh, Tucker.
There was no bucket under the cow, so that means it was Tucker. You know what?
Wait a minute.
Just...
Lord.
I blame Tucker. I blame Fox News for this.
I blame Rebecca for not being here today for giving us this opportunity. Here is Pick a Struggle from Instagram, the LGBTQIA edition. Pick a Struggle. All right, let's check it out.
I know nobody asked for this, but welcome to the homophobic version of Pick a Struggle. Now, if any of y'all take any offense to this, mind you, I am not the cobbler of the shoe that fits you so well. That being said, pick a struggle. If you think LGBT education isn't appropriate for kids, then why are you asking your toddler if they have a girlfriend? Pick a struggle. Why are you so worried about your sons wearing makeup when the late great artist that shall be forever known as Prince could wear Maybelline, a blouse, stand about 5'8" in platform heels, and still walk away with your girl? Pick a struggle. It's already bad enough that you think a woman's value drops as her body count rises. But when you think lesbians only exist out of hatred for men, it only supports the notion that women are better off without you. Pick a struggle. Seriously, how are you going to be homophobic while praising warrior cultures like the Spartans and the samurai? Open up a history book and find out how they really got down. Pick a struggle. I even got one for the homophobic women out there. I don't know how you're so worried about bisexual men possibly cheating on you when it was your toxic straight ex that ran through your whole female friend circle, including your sister and or your favorite cousin, and got at least one of them pregnant in the process. Pick a struggle. And if you're a WWE fan, I don't want to hear a peep out of nail one of y'all complaining about LGBT media, knowing damn well that wrestling is the most homoerotic shit ever televised. Pick a struggle. I know nobody asked for this.
Oh, man.
All facts. Because if y'all only knew about these samurai warriors and these Greek titans or whatever they were called back in, they used to fight in the Acropolis and all that. Yeah. It's filled with a lot of homoeroticness and the stuff that they used to do. I learned some stuff. I was just like, Jesus, is that what they used to do back then? That's even hot for my standards. My God, today. Shit. I'm just like, I'm reading. I'm like, oh, really? Well, I would survive back then. Okay.
Wait a minute.
I would probably be a great warrior.
You said you were born too late, James.
Look, I would be a great warrior. I would be real powerful and respected back then.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, man. You know what's funny? Nobody wants to hear any of my old straight cisgender jokes. No, this shit is funny. Like, that whole thing, pick a struggle.
Pick a struggle. And then I hate to say this, though, but that shit is real about the black females.
It's so hypocritical. Here's the thing, man. I can say this because I've been that hypocrite, right? You start with this. It ain't nobody's business.
Exactly.
It is nobody's business what's going on in your bedroom so long as it's consenting adults. And the funniest thing about it is the biggest people who got the biggest problems with the LGBTQIA community are the same people who trying to pass laws so they can marry 12-year-old girls, 13-year-old girls. Check out Tennessee. So pick a struggle, but also pick, just go throw yourself off a cliff somewhere, man. We ain't got time for this. We ain't got time for this.
They try to come for the alphabet gang because they ain't got nothing else better to do. Alphabet gang being the LGBTQ because you're trying to say all that, and I can do that. Yeah. Alphabet gang.
See, and me, I have to practice it because I ain't gonna mess it up. LGBTQIA plus. Give me what's the next one? I'll give me next.
Good job, Ben. Because damn that, gay, straight, bi.
You remind me of that girl, that sister from she was being interviewed by that Step and Fetch It dude. I can't think of his name, but he was asking her about her being a whore, and then he said, "Well, how old are you?" And she said, "Grown." That's it. Sometimes you just answer, you just move on. All right, next video. Actually, hang on, I lost track of where we were. David, run whatever's next. I lost track of where we were.
All right, are we disappointed, surprised, or both?
I'm not surprised by this, but honestly, it doesn't freak me out. But in the same vein, I've been saying some things for a couple of years. Number one, if you do not understand the internet, then you do not understand the world and therefore should not be running for office because the world takes place on the internet. Number two, if you are going to be running for office, whether it's civic, state, or federal, you should absolutely have to take a qualifying exam. And here's what I mean. You should have to take a health and wellness exam. We make our military do it. Why wouldn't we make our representatives do it? And I'm not even talking about the same health and wellness exam because obviously those jobs require different things. Number two, if you cannot pass the immigration test, then you have no business being in office because you know nothing about this country. And number three, yes, I think there should absolutely be a base knowledge exam because I need to know that my representatives are going to be understanding the bills that they are reading that are coming across their desk, as well as be able to communicate effectively with anybody, whether it be a scientist, lawyer, or religious representative, because they are supposed to be representing all of us. And right now, they're not.
That was a TikTok from a pharmacist who said that they filled Alzheimer's medication prescriptions for members of Congress. That is, what did you think? Because I feel I got mixed feelings on that.
And shout out Pascal, who was on the screen with us at this time. Pascal,
happy Friday, everybody.
Brother.
What's up?
Happy Friday,
man. We need a bloop sound. We need a bloop bloop. Some kind of ding dong ding. Pascal, how you doing, man?
I'm good. It's raining, man. Hallelujah. It's raining, man. Tanny balls. Hey, man. You didn't see that part? I'm sorry. I saw that part where he was like, the dude was standing there like, oh,
right.
Balls
like his
hand. But nobody saw that?
Like
nobody
he got his
acknowledged that.
Like he got his little thing and like a machine that's just like.
Sorry, we're going to talk about this other thing.
Oh no, we can go to it.
Tan my balls.
Hey, you got to put the right video up.
Literally, it looks like he's standing his balls.
I'm so sorry. I know you guys are on something else, but that's all I saw before.
It's okay. We didn't like that last clip anyway.
So I missed that last part. This last part right here. That's all news to me right now. I'm not filling prescription thing.
Yeah, we don't care. They like 90 years old in Washington D.C. But go ahead.
Right, we all know that.
They be old. But that's like a new age version of Brokeback Mountain.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Can I say that, James? Is that? I'm sorry.
Yes, you can. I mean, because Brokeback Mountain is not indicative of anything in the alphabet gang community. Okay. I mean, that's the beauty of white folks going to go camping, and that's what they do. I mean, we just go to a park or a parking lot, like the baby said, parking lot. That's what he was talking about.
And my balls. Like, why?
You know what's funny? The default setting on this show is testosterone heavy. It's like we get out the pocket like dudes sitting in the basement somewhere, and then we straighten up as soon as women come in. Like, in other news,
football. You know what I mean? Let's talk about football. You know what I'm saying? But when girls leave, they're like, "Do you tan your balls?"
I got to go get this wax today. Oh my gosh, these bald hairs are getting on my nerve, my last nerve.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I came in with the heat. I didn't mean to come in with the heat.
You came in and turned it up. You turned us from 8 to 12.
And speaking of turning up, Pascal, can you increase the volume on your mic a little bit? You sound a little low.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Is that better?
There we go. Yeah, that's much better. Okay.
Let me try this again. Tan my balls. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Ooh, and I bet them balls be so white. I'm sorry. No,
Here we go. Let's move on to the next
story.
story.
I know they just so white. I bet they be looking like the bottom of this mud. That is terrible.
Hold up.
All right, here we go. Real
looking like raw chicken.
You just made raw chicken.
Take the skin off chicken, white folks balls.
Bro. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what is today? Where are we? I'm losing oxygen over here.
Happy Friday. I'm
losing oxygen. Okay, hang on.
I'm so sorry.
Happy Friday.
See, I have moved on. Pascal came back in and resurrected the balls again, so I had to come back to it.
Sorry, you guys showed it. That's the only thing I saw before I hopped on here.
Oh man,
I'm like, come on.
Hey, no, that's so Tucker. That's
I'm so sorry.
I am.
Oh my God.
David's trying to move on. He put the new clip on the screen.
I am so sorry.
David be like, can we please?
But it is Friday. Okay, yes.
Can we please be professional for 1 second here?
Oh,
all right, here
God.
we go.
Left considers black conservatives to be traitors?
It's actually also because I got like 2 more that you don't even know about that I want to throw into the
They're
mix.
even worse? Okay, here. All right, so
wow.
this is a screenshot from Newsmax. Ben Shapiro mistaken for a black person. How does that work? Brett, give me the background on this.
Does he got black in him? What the hell?
How is this happening?
Yeah, I'm
wait. So it ties into Tucker Carlson because this is the gangbang that's going on, and Ben Shapiro is the gang banger.
Yeah,
Bang E.
Him and Tucker Carlson involved in this game bang right here.
Oh my gosh,
this is it right here.
Dingo James.
Okay, no, we're gonna move to the next story. The Tony Awards. Okay, let's try this one. The Tony Awards is warning of removals from violence. The Tony Awards announced no violence policy prior to its 2022 show. Tony Awards announcing
that one. We're not talking about that one. We ain't talking about that one.
No, because it immediately went to about testicular fortitude, and I was like, maybe we should.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll be cool now. I'm sorry. I'm 12. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I'm 11, so it's all right. We're good.
So the Tonys did implement this new thing. So basically, keep your hands to yourself. Right.
Right.
This is wild.
Man, I thought you had something to say about it.
No, I just wanted to make sure that I'm on the same.
Talk about
page
the right
with
story.
What time is it? I'm about to go to the beach. I'm leaving.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Wait. I got something for David. David, I'm dropping something in Slack that you need to play that's related to Tony Awards and Will Smith, okay?
Oh, yes. But yeah, I feel like this is the people just trying to make a statement when the party is already over. Nobody cares about this story no more. And they just want a couple of clicks from it. And unfortunately, our team just gave them some. So shame on us for extending this Will Smith story one day longer than it should have.
Well, I mean, I feel like with the Tonys, well, one, no offense, who really watches the Tonys? That's number one.
Right.
No offense, because I love theater just as much as any other theater.
They'd be doing good if they had a fight.
But as far as them coming out with a no violence policy, it's kind of like, oh, okay,
good on you.
Yeah, good on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would expect it like Grammys, Emmys, stuff like that. And of course, I expect the Tonys, but the fact that they're literally putting that out there, going, "Oh, by the way, we're doing this no violence, keep your hands to yourself."
I mean,
policy. I'm just kind of like, all right, like
it's the Tonys.
Yeah, it's the Tonys.
They're gonna prance up there and just.
Wait a minute, James. You introduced. This is what this next video is. You're taking all the onus and responsibility is on James Josephus Williams. Run that clip, I guess. I'm terrified.
Don't break me off a piece of that. Break me off a piece of that. A piece of that. Don't break me off a piece of that. 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 Off a piece of that. Don't break me off a piece of that.
Get away, James.
Break me off a piece of that. Break me off a piece of that. Don't break me off a piece of that. Break me off a piece of that. Off a piece of that. Don't break me off a piece of that. Break me off a piece of that.
Hey, no cap, James. Because you are my boy, you are my homeboy, right? I was gonna send you that video because I knew you were gonna like it.
Somebody sent it to me.
I was gonna send it to you, ass. I was like, this is some shit, James.
Somebody had time today. Somebody had time that day to just.
Oh man,
who got time to sit there and just move things around and time it out and then Will Smith
and time it out?
Wow, somebody had time today.
The internet has a lot of free time. Clearly,
David.
So I got,
David, what's happening, man?
I got two clips that when you guys
crank your mic up a little bit for us. You got two extra clips for us.
How about now?
That's a little better. What you got?
Turn it up just a bit. I got two clips that I know you guys are all gonna appreciate. One. I'm not even going to introduce, but Ben, you definitely have to look at the screen to get it.
Okay.
And the second one, someone stole from our girl B, but we'll get to that one in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
so without any introduction.
All right, David.
This is kind of dangerous, but without
that man had a BBL.
I saw that same comment. I'm getting weak.
Here we go.
Oh shit.
Huh?
Y'all got jokes.
What is going on?
When I said pigs need to hold each other accountable, this is not what I meant.
Wait, one more time.
Y'all got jokes. When I said pigs need to hold each other accountable, this is not what I meant.
Okay.
When I said pigs need to hold each other accountable, this is not what I meant.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-gender conforming individuals who are listening in our audio audience, you cannot appreciate the value of this clip because you cannot see the warthog. I mean, this is the biggest pig I've seen running about as fast as the police. Matter of fact, he was outrunning the police officer. Bro.
Oh god!
The police was tasing the pig, and the pig was still out. Pig on pig.
I was just about to damn it, Ben. You beat me to it. The pig on pig crime is real.
We are pushing the envelope today, gentlemen.
Oh my god! That is. Can you play it one more time, please? Please. Please.
Y'all got jokes. When I said pigs need to hold each other accountable, this is not what I meant.
All right.
Y'all got got
All right,
jokes.
David. All right, David. I would like the audience to know that I, as the black man, did not pick that video.
No, I absolutely.
But David, as the white man, picked the pig video. Not that I care.
Props go to our Discord. That one came from Discord.
That came from our Discord.
Our community definitely drops.
Oh, my goodness.
There's too much sometimes.
Yes. Have mercy on us, Lord. Okay, well, David, you did good, David. I'm proud of your selection today. I was a little bit concerned. What's the next one?
But what about? I want to see about the gangbang with Ben Shapiro.
The gangbang on your episode. What time is your show coming up, Pascal?
You can follow that on OnlyFans/DJX3C. OnlyFans/DJX3C. I have the exclusive footage of the right gangbang. The rightest gangbang.
You said the whitest?
The rightest.
Oh, no, I mean, at least make it black, bro. Like, I mean, okay, here we go.
But he was running after a black pig.
He was. You saw that too. Next thing you know, that it's got cut off, but he probably shot him.
Oh Lord! God damn it, James Pascal. Moving on. I'm not gonna laugh at that.
So,
mine.
You weren't here with us when a patron of ours, B, came on a long time ago, twice actually, to give us a rehab pitch.
Oh yeah.
For Karens. And we made a whole video out of it because she just did such a great job laying out what issues Karens need to have dealt with. But and I'll have to give you the video so you can compare it to this one that we're about to play.
Yes.
But somehow this feels like it's too much of a coincidence.
Okay.
And B, I got your back.
All right. Let's take a look at it.
Hi, fellow white people. Are you having a sad because that family's enjoying a picnic in the park while being black? Did that customer in front of you just speak a language that makes you irrationally angry? Well, this is a great time to try. Mind your own f***ing business. Mind your own f***ing business. You'll be able to grow the f*** up and act like a decent f***ing human being. Our patented technology allows you to pull your head out of your ass and see the world beyond the brim of your MAGA hat.
Hi, honey. I saw some black people at the Starbucks today.
Do you mind your own f***ing business?
I sure f***ing did.
Stop bothering those nice people today with mind your own f***ing business.
Side effects may include not harassing people, no one getting arrested or murdered by police, a general sense of well-being for people of color, a lack of internet fame and or trolling and coexistence. Please consult your doctor if you are still a piece of shit after minding your own f***ing business, as the symptoms may be a result of a deeper problem and require further treatment.
Now available at Anthropology and Whole Foods. Hi, fellow.
Good on them. That's some good work. That's quality H2O right there.
Okay, I do remember seeing this video. Yeah. So are we going back to the gangbang video now?
Oh, come on, James.
Well, speaking of Karen, real quick. I mean, this is kind of old, but I wanted to share it with you guys if that's okay, David. I'm going to send it to you. You can look through it, David, to make sure it's okay. But I do have a song about Karens.
Oh man, play it, man.
What?
Like I sent it to him. To him. So maybe he'll play it, maybe not. But you know, I do want to see. I do want to see Ben Shapiro get like a train ran through him though.
Coronal ejections all over them.
Just saying.
I mean, he's here for it. I mean, he gives me twink vibes. So
oh my god,
man! You had me at
this show is next level. This thing's just like it just doesn't even matter. We go wherever the hell we want to go.
Trying to handle a whole bunch of baseball bats. So I'm just like, all right,
third legs, man.
Here, though. You know what I'm saying? What happened here, though? But David, what? You're back? What's up, man?
We're gonna. I can't really. I don't have time to test to clear it. So.
Wait. It's your video, right, Pascal?
Yeah, it's my.
It's the video that you did on your. It's your Karen video.
It's a parody song about Karens. It's a Justin Bieber.
It's the parody
song.
Yeah.
So,
David, go ahead and pull it. Go ahead and pull it before we get out of here. Pascal, what time are you on today?
Not until much later on today. To be really honest. I had a very late night with the show last night with my night show. So I still need to do a whole bunch of stuff to get ready for. So I'll probably be on like this afternoon, like around noon today. I'm kind of being very I'm just rolling with the punches today. You know what I mean?
Okay. No.
In other words, you're being lazy as hell. Let me stop playing.
No, he's a free man. That's not lazy. That's the prerogative of a free man, a man who gets to make his own schedule.
I'm a stud. You know,
Give us our.
I'm a stud. Give
All
us
right,
frito.
What's the name of this?
It is. It's just Karen's. It's
Karen's.
It's a Justin
Bieber
intentions parody. So,
there it is.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it, David.
Don't judge too hard.
Triple beef, Skittles.
You girl, I'm white. I'm girl, white. I'm girl. I'm gonna tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
This song goes out to.
I can't stand you, dude.
Light in your eyes.
Let's go. Got my camera out, don't need no filter. Cause these women really think I'm a killer. So extra and got everybody staring. I'm surrounded by nothing but Karens. Stay in the public, acting up, losing your head. Heart full of shame, and now you're about to call the feds. What you doing really don't have no bearings. I'm surrounded by nothing but Karens. I should stop your mom and dad from making you. Cause they did a bad job of raising you. Get out my way, you're so rude. I'm recording now to make the news. Everybody throw shade on your name in these streets. You need help, you need God, you need pot, you need sleep. Please take it easy on the booze. You got a mean streak and a short fuse. You about to lose it. I don't need no filter. Cause these women really think I'm a killer. So extra and got everybody staring. I'm surrounded by nothing but Karens. Stay in the public, acting up, losing your head. Heart full of shame, and now you're about to call the feds. What you doing really don't have no bearing. I'm surrounded by nothing but Karens. No pretending, you condescending. Girl,
Come on, rap.
girl, what the heck you thinking?
Bars.
Girl,
You be reciting lyrics.
You're in your feelings. You 50% a minion. Girl, you're really tripping. We gotta supposed to be social distance. This is stressing, cause you don't listen. You're the worst thing, and I need a witness. I'ma find out where you work so your boss can see this. Got my camera, I don't need no filter.
No
Cause
filter.
women really think I'm a killer. So extra and got everybody staring. I'm surrounded by nothing but Karens. Stay in the public, acting up, losing your head. Heart full of shame, and now you're about to call the feds. What you doing really don't have no bearing. I'm surrounded by nothing but Karens.
Ooh, ew.
A lot going on.
Hey,
y'all give it up.
Shout out to Pascal, man.
Look, brother Pascal, nothing but Karens. Bro, look at that. We're gonna do some music together one of these days, bro.
Bruh, that was amazing. Because especially all the videos, you did that, man.
Yeah,
Awesome
yeah,
job.
yeah,
Awesome.
man. Shout out to Pascal. I would say y'all go and support him, but he got more supporters than we got. So anyway.
As a full-on lie. Come on,
that turned around real quick.
Come on now, be me.
Man, we love you, bro. We love what you're doing, man. That's a good ass video, bro. You gonna help us get some views? You gonna help us get some views?
Hey, I'm with it. Come on with it.
We gotta connect on the merchandise though.
Oh yeah,
I'm seeing that hat, and we gotta connect.
We need that genius.
Yeah, I got that merch on point though. You know what I'm saying? I got that merch on point though, love.
Okay,
you know?
so I got another serious thing though for y'all, real quick before we get out of here.
Oh no.
So just looking, David, play the damn gangbang clip.
Oh Lord Jesus! Wait a minute, hold on, David, don't do anything. Balls. Wait. I'm not sure how to respond in this moment. I don't know if it's a joke or if you're serious. Oh my God, what? Oh, that clip.
Yes.
Ben, what the hell? You thought we were gonna play a real? This is YouTube.
I was like, wait a minute.
You go to that for Twitter and Pornhub. Come on, man.
Wait a minute. Considers black conservatives to be. This is too much, man. This is
I
great.
really want to know how they made this mistake.
Did it?
How did Ben Shapiro get thrown up in this biz naive?
Does he know something that we don't? Oh,
wait a minute. Ain't Herman Cain dead?
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
999. I'm 9 alive.
Wait.
9.
It says it's actual.
Him dead though.
Wait, man, been dead for a whole good season. Last 2 seasons he been dead. They trying to bring him back.
Holy shit.
Dead. Oh my
And then with Ben Shapiro, maybe Ben Shapiro did one of them DNA and me tests, the 23andMe. Maybe he got like 1/4% of black. Maybe. So,
Caucasian.
Oh man,
him Caucasian.
Oh man, Ben Carson, Sheriff David Clark, and the
Look,
recently departed Herman Cain.
David Clark looked like he do porn. He give me big porn energy with the cowboy hat on and the beard. Yeah.
He looked like pounds of cocaine, like Scarface. Say hello to my You know what I'm saying?
I can't stand those goddamn black people.
Ben Carson's still
I'm
alive.
not black myself, but I can't stand them.
Okay, now I know for sure we got to get an R-rated version of our show because the only way to end that one was with a hard ER. You got to end that parody with a hard ER, but we can't do that here.
That's why I said black person. I can't. So I couldn't do it.
It's incomplete. We got to go to the R-rated version of the show. It's not complete, but not in the mornings. Not in the mornings. We're going to maintain this holiness. We're good. We're good guys.
Yeah. Whoever did this, and they somebody just pointed this out too. They misspelled David as well. I don't know how Newsmax did this.
My God, they
maybe
did.
This is not. Maybe
this got to be a parody.
Maybe Jason. Maybe
this
Campbell
can't be
thought
real.
It was real. Like he got it from someone else. I don't know.
It is Newsmax.
It is Newsmax. That's why I'm just like I kind of believe it to be true though.
Oh man.
No, that's the parody. It's Newsmax. You start with Newsmax. That's funny. Wait, where's the joke though? Where is it? You know what I mean? It's like where's Waldo? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, oh snap! Him dead. Him white. Him Caucasian.
Him
Was that Rachel
Caucasian.
Maddow coming in on it?
Like,
no, it's related. It's just what
I hate when they
Twitter
do
has
that. No, I came to read these tweets, not related tweets.
Yeah.
All
This is
right, so
I'm just trying to see
it
if
very
there's
well
anyone
could be that this is
disproving it as
fake
being real.
because I can't imagine them getting a typo in there. But I can't imagine them. I definitely can imagine them putting Ben Shapiro in there as a black conservative.
Yeah, somebody did say that. Like, no, this is real. A lot of people are saying no, this is actually real.
Oh man, get the hell out of here!
oh, people are.
And these people, listen, check me out. Newsmax used to. It didn't Newsmax. No, that was OAN that used to get money from the cable networks.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else we got? Or is that it, fellas? We clear for the day.
I think that's just about everything.
Yeah,
All right. Well, the white man is happy, so we can get out of here. Pascal.
I can't stand being these other white men.
Yes.
I love you, David. You know I love you.
First, I want to say
Pain
happy
in the
Friday
ass,
to
it's
all
all
you
good.
guys. I do appreciate you letting me come on and wreck your show at the very last
Did
minute.
wreck us today.
I'm so sorry. But
Chicken cutlets.
Like Ben Shapiro go get wrecked. Anyway, go ahead.
no, I'm about to sneeze. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Real quick.
Pascal, are you?
You got something right there.
Jesus.
I could see this being Pascal.
It's still right there.
What's that? Oh, that's Bishop. Bishop
Oh yeah, me at 70 years old. Watch.
But so is the guy holding his hand is supposed to be his walker?
No, he don't need a walker. I don't know why he hold the man's hand like that. He's straight to the street. Got the kick, all right.
He looks fly though.
He's a bishop. He's Bishop. I can't think of his last name, but yeah, he's a fly guy. He's a cool guy.
He's like, watch me do all these things with my friend. Hold
My extra tight cow.
Hold my hand, brother.
my cow print. Come on, somebody let Mama out. Mama got to get that knee up. Uh oh. You see the little shimmy? You got to get it, Nana. All right, y'all. Listen, it's been a great show. I'm about to get my weekend commenced. I'm going to give you a whole, let's see, 20 minutes, 19 minutes back in your day. James, what you got?
Right. Hey, real quick, y'all. I'm not saying I'm attractive, but when I take my clothes off in the bathroom, I turn the shower on.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Have mercy, love. We'll see everybody. Take care. Pascal, we'll see you later, man. James. Be easy, brother.
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all enjoy the weekend. I'll see y'all on Tuesday.
I'm gonna go pay my balls now.
Get the hell out, Pascal. Chicken cutlets. They need to be tanned. They're looking like raw chicken. Go tan them off. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend. We enjoyed y'all this week. And as usual, y'all gonna be great. Do something good for yourself today. And your affirmation is, I am hopeful. I am hopeful. Hopeful that you'll get them balls tan. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Mean it. We'll see y'all Tuesday. Deuces.
On my way to the best thing that you've ever seen. You know that you bow to the queen. You lose all your senses and reason. I'll give you something to believe. OMW. On my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. OMW. On my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. OMW. Nothing left to prove. So enjoy the view, taking a picture like Malibu.